To LA with it. I like getting money, I got time to get it. Target on me, so my
I was expecting like the big
cars are tinted. Dancing with the devil, I don't bargain with it. Bobbing in the dash and the stick is with it. And I hit the 4-5 on the west side, but I'm from the east side. This how we slide, this how we ride, yeah, yeah, this how we ride.
Alright guys, finally it is time to work on the NSX. We got some KW coilovers. We have Ultra Racing Strut bar, which I've been meaning to install this for the longest, but no time. We have time now, we're gonna do it. And we have Mishimoto Radiator. Let's get to work.
What kind of radiator was that?
Is it Mishimoto?
Yeah.
Let's get to work. Oh, fuck, I put this thing on the list. Yep. All right, it's time for us to install the strut bar, baby. Next thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna remove and unplug the radiator, the fan, these nice brackets that have very nice red. We got some brand new OEM strictly from Honda that we're gonna be replacing here. And the hoses look excellent actually. This doesn't seem too hard. Should be pretty easy. We need to drain the coolant first. It's my guitar, bro. It's gonna be so messy right now. It's gonna be messy. I may not have enough buckets to fill it because it's gonna drain this whole thing and both lines. That's going all the way to the back. It's like the MR2.
Gotta get the other one.
Yeah. Ready? Do we get a second guitar? Out with the old. All right, guys, so we are gonna utilize the stock fan. Uh-oh. Some trimming needs to be done. Yeah, all right.
parts though, dog.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta love that Honda still makes brand new parts for these cars. And we got rid of them ugly ones.
Another over here.
Did you show these things?
Yeah.
Sick paint job. Looks like something you would do, Ricky.
I was gonna say, it doesn't look bad. Definitely running. Woo! Alright, to bleed this thing is gonna be an MR2 scenario.
I got faith in you, buddy. You can do it.
Oh, I'm doing it. Alright, so as you guys can see, we put the Mishimoto Radiator, the stock fans, we replaced all the hardware with Downstar hardware, the brand new brackets for the radiator, and that's pretty much it. It was super easy to install. It fits perfectly. Straight bolt-on kit. And now it's gonna add coolant. We wait a long time, and we keep an eye on the temperature.
Look at this guy.
Just like your beard, but upside down. Right?
That's way cooler than my beard.
I'm the upside down Mickey.
Well, as we do with most of our projects, we're replacing a lot of the factory hardware that's kind of worn out or rusty with Downstar hardware. So Frank from Downstar actually sent me over some fender washers for this one, which is really cool. It's a low profile bolt. So it's an M6 bolt with a low profile washer too. So when you close your hood, it doesn't make contact with it. We'll go ahead and clean up the flanges a little bit in here because of some water spots, but overall, it's just a great aesthetic. I love it.
Oh my god, they look nothing alike. So we have everything set for now, or we think. So we're just gonna put it on to the other one and then keep going. Alright, so due to the fact that these coilovers are so much longer than the one that we took out, it was a struggle to get them in there, but it should ride way better because the last coilovers, there was just no travel in them, and obviously these ones have plenty of travel, so can't wait to see how this thing rides. So one of the main things I love about these KWs is the temper adjustment. Look at that. We'll be able to adjust it without going crazy taking stuff out. You should be able to just jack it up and just adjust it from here without having to do some crazy stuff. So the rears are done. Let's go to the front. right, so we're ready to put the first one in the front end, and we'll see how this is gonna go. Alright guys, so if you guys noticed, it is the next day, and we ended up taking the KW coilovers out because the top hat that we were using, it was from the previous coilover set that was there, and it didn't fit very well. It ended up making the car look like it was still a normal height, and it wouldn't let us lower it down because of the hat. So we ended up, you're supposed to use the OEM top hats for these KW coilovers, but we didn't have them. And we couldn't find them anywhere. So we ended up reaching out to Science of Speed, and we ended up finding OEM light hats specifically made for KW. So we ended up ordering those, and now I have to pull them all back out, replace them, and put them back in the car. So let's get to work. So the front coilovers are installed with the new hats. Now it's time to do the rear ones. Alright, so the rear right coilover has already been installed. Everything's ready to go. I'm just gonna do the exact same thing I did this to the other side.
Alright, well, it's the next day. Ricky did a great job of buttoning up the coilovers, so we're gonna get the car on the ground. But before we do that, I got one more little addition from Science of Speed that we're gonna toss on the car. This is something that's more of an aesthetic piece. It does serve a purpose, but let me show it to you. Factory tow hook on there. All right, well, we're gonna introduce another product to the NSX that we ordered from Science of Speed, and it is basically their tow hook kit, and it replaces the factory tow hook. It's a really nice part. This is something that you always want to have if you ever visit the racetrack. So most racing sanctioning bodies require a tow hook front and rear, and they usually require a 2-inch ID on those tow hooks. We ordered it up in black. The guys at Science of Speed make some really nice NSX specific parts, and it actually bolts into the factory location, which is sick. The reason why you want to add something like this to your car is that the factory tow hook right here, it's once you remove this cover off the bumper, is exposed, but could you imagine trying to get a hook in here to tow this thing if you needed to? Impossible without screwing up your front bumper. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock that out real quick. Factory tow hook. Man, that thing is pretty hideous compared to what we're putting on here. This is a little bit nicer. You can kind of see. So they've mimicked the mounting locations. This is for the front bumper mount, and then this is gonna screw into here and provide access to the tow hook. right, well, overall, I think the look is great. We did raise the car, as you noticed, just a little bit. With the new V3s from KW, we can't run this thing on its guts because essentially we're just sitting on the bump stops. And that's what we didn't like about the car initially, was the coilovers that were on it allowed it to go really low, but the problem was you weren't using the travel of the suspension, and the car rode like a tank. In fact, it was quite unsafe on the freeway. When you would hit the undulations in the freeway, the back end actually felt like it was going left and right, which is kind of sketchy. Yeah, it's time to go for a test drive. Oh my God, straight out of the gate, we've made 0 adjustments. This thing already feels better. Wow. It's like night and day difference, and I haven't driven this thing in probably 2 weeks. We're gonna go to that one spot on the freeway before we take it to alignment and just make sure that everything is good, tight, rides well. And we'll do the alignment. Should be good to go for the weekend. So we've put V3s on with Courtney's BMW, which she's been on for about 2 to 3 years now, and those things have been fantastic. She rides that thing lower than any BMW I've seen on the daily that's super slammed, and the thing rides beautifully. Ever since we got those, I've been sold on the V3 product line. So we put them on the STI, we put them on this car. Every car we've put them on, it's transformed the feel of the car. I can't even say enough about that level of product, the V3 line, and what a difference it makes in your car and your chassis setting. Unbelievable. Oh, the noises this car makes are so good. Wow. Can't imagine a day without this car, man. Here we go. What? Dude. Oh. Didn't even feel that bump, by the way. Almost got hit by a minivan in the process. Wasn't looking, didn't see us. Oh, and then didn't even get off. Changed lanes, didn't even get off. Dude, we went over that bump. You didn't even feel it, did you?
No.
Dude. KW V3 for the win. And what the really cool thing is we literally took these out of the box, adjusted the height. Being that there's helper springs, there's no preload to really dial up. But man, we still have to adjust these yet, so we can still play with compression and rebound and get these things hyper dialed in, which is awesome. Honestly, for daily driving duties, I think the out of the box setting is actually really good. Now, if we were taking this to the track, we may want to play with it a little more, but you know, the alignment seems perfect. Let's take it over to the alignment shop anyway, and just have them put it up there, make sure everything's good, and this thing's ready to go to a meet this weekend, and that's what I'm looking forward to. There's a classic Honda meet at Gretty this weekend on Saturday that I would love to take this car to, so that's what we're going to shoot for.